First of all, I want to thank you because my channel is hitting 100,000 views. When this video is live, I will probably have surpassed it. So thank you guys for the support. As you can see, the channel is really growing a lot. I'm very happy with the result, and I hope we can, make it 200,000 views real soon. Thanks for the support, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Hello guys, and welcome to today's video. Well, today I'm gonna talk about my top 10 favorite 1 series. It's a note, it's my top 10 favorite, so it's not going to be the best in 1 series. It's just going to be my top 10 favorite because of my personal opinion, because one of these 1 series have something that I like about them which makes them my top 10 favorite. So your list can be totally different as mine, and you may totally disagree, and that's just fine because this list is my opinion. And if you don't agree, you can always leave a comment and say why you don't agree and stuff like that. But it's my personal list, so it's my personal taste, and we're gonna start with number 10. So number 10 on my list is, you may be a little bit surprised about this, but number 10 is the E87 116D from 2004 until 2006, the one with the M47 engine. And why do I say the M47 engine? Well, that diesel engine is very strong. I have seen 1 series with 400,000-500,000 kilometers with that engine on the original chain. Unlike its successor, the N47, this car has no chain problems. The N47 is known for chain problems and stupid birds. The N47 is known for its chain problems, and that's actually not that good because it's pretty expensive to fix the chain, and if it breaks, your engine is destroyed. So that's why I'm saying the M47. And performance-wise, it's really nothing special. It's one of the bottom of the list. But the thing is, these cars are now about 15-14 years old, and they are pretty damn cheap. They are also a diesel. So if you find a diesel with 150,000 kilometers, you can get them here in Belgium for 3,000-4,000 euros. Pretty damn cheap. In other countries, they are may even cheaper. I think in UK you can get them for £1,000. And they are so freaking cheap. Yet the best part is, if you get one, it's very good on gas and it's very reliable. Yet you drive a 15 years old BMW, which will give you another few years of driving pleasure. And if you want the 1 series but you don't have a lot of money, this is a very ideal car because it's also very reliable. So it's a reliable BMW and it's cheap. So what do you even want? I mean, if you don't have a lot of money, you shouldn't be getting a high-grade model which can fail and then you will go bankrupt anyway. And also with some little work on it, like a downpipe, exhaust, EGR delete, and a remap, you will, it will never be a pocket rocket, but you can gain 150-160 horsepower if you put a little bit of work on it. I don't get why you should do that. Maybe just a stock remap is also fine. Then you will get 140 horsepower. So you can maybe do that, and it will be a little bit better on fuel, have a little bit more torque and a little bit more power. And it won't be like the fastest car ever, but it will be pretty decent, and it's a very cheap car. So really, what do you want? Okay, so number 9 on this list, and yeah, actually after each car I'm pressing on the video because I was doing one long video before this and I was at number 3, and suddenly my camera just said screw it, it fell out and the video was never captured, and I was already standing here for 20 minutes here. I went crazy. So that's why I am pressing the record button every time I start a new car. Just that you know. Number 9 on my list is the E87 120i, one of the facelift versions. So one of the latter ones, the 2009 and 10 versions, I think. They have around 170 horsepower. And why do I pick that one? Well, it's the last and most powerful 4-cylinder natural aspirated 1 series that you can get. So if you think a 6-cylinder is a little bit too much for you, and you want a 4-cylinder, but you hate turbos, then you can get 120i. And with an intake, an exhaust, and a little remap, you can push the car about 185, 190 horsepower, which is, it's not the fastest car in the world, but it's going to be pretty decent. And if, with an nice coilover kit, some good rims and tires, it will be even a little pocket rocket on the track either. So I think it's a pretty decent car. The price is not that high, and with an exhaust, those cars sound amazing, because a natural aspirated petrol engine just sounds so much better as a turbo or a diesel, because this is a turbo, and I think an E87 120i with just a little exhaust sounds better as this one. So yeah, E87 120i 4-cylinder natural aspirated, 190 horsepower with some work. I think that's, for me, is a pretty nice setup. I would love to own one. Yeah, with this car it wouldn't be relevant. So yeah, 120i E87, number 9. Okay, number 8, and some people will probably be a little bit angry that this car is only at number 8, but it's the E82, so the coupe version, 135i with the N54 engine. Why? Because the N54 is a beast of an engine. I mean, it's so well tunable. You can push that car over 500-600 horsepower, and the engine can handle it. I mean, a lot of people call it a 2JZ from BMW. It's just so well tunable, and with just stage 1 remap, the car is already pushing 370 horsepower. So if you get a 135i and you remap it, you can keep up with the current BMW M2. Not the competition, just the current normal M2. But still, I mean, that's pretty decent. And if you put some more work in it, you can, screw a lot of current BMW M cars. So the E82 135i, pure for me, the N54, because it's just such a strong engine, very well tunable. I'm not a big coupe fan, but anyway, that car is so tunable that it just had to be on my list. So number 7, E82 135i with the N54 engine. N55 is also a great engine, but the N54 just has a little bit extra potential. Okay, so number 7 on my list is my 114i. If you thought it was a 1M35i, if you didn't know my channel, well, I fooled you great, didn't I? It's a 114i, but I have done many things to it. But why the 114i? Well, actually also for one reason. It's a very low horsepower car when you buy it, and that's great for young people who insurance is screwing them over like mine. And with just a stage 1 tune, it will push about 220, 230 horsepower, which is still, pretty damn quick. 220 horsepower, like these days, it's just quick. It's nothing amazing. It's not like you have, a flying machine. It's just a pretty decent car. But the good benefit is that you have a very low stock horsepower number, which is very good for your insurance and your road tax and stuff like that. Yet with the stage 1 tune, it's pretty fast. Goes 0 to 100. Mine does in 6 seconds and has a top speed of about 240, 250 kilometers an hour. So really not that bad at all for a 1.6 petrol, because my car has like a really big turbo on it, and that's why it maps so well. Benefit is a lot of power, pretty decent on fuel actually. Drawback is, if you want the nice sound out of it, you need a straight pipe. So yeah, I mean, very tunable car, pretty cheap also actually. That's also another reason, is these cars are not that old. I mean, they are 6-7 years old, the oldest ones. So it's a pretty current BMW, yet they are pretty damn cheap. For about 8-9,000 euros here in Belgium, and in other countries even cheaper. You can find pretty decent one with not that high mileage, and you can just tune it. And it's also a very good sleeper. If you just buy it with non-M package, just 16-inch rims with no, no aluminum rims, just, pot rims, and no exhaust, nothing. Just, 1 Series people won't look at you. They will just think it's a 1 Series. I don't care. Yet you have 220 horsepower. So if some asshole with a riced out Civic or a Golf GTI is tailgating you, you can just make it very, very interesting. I'll say that. Keep it on that. You can make it very interesting for them, and they will look twice at your car the next time. So yeah, the 114i is number 7. Okay, so number 6 on my list is another diesel engine. It's actually going to be the last diesel on this video, and it's going to be the F20 125D. Why the 125D? Well, it's the most powerful diesel version that you can get of the 1 Series in the F20. I think it's the most powerful version that you could got anyway. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty damn fast, and with just a stage 1 remap, it has 270 horsepower and over 500 newton-meters of torque. So it's torquey engine, and EGR delete, downpipe, stuff like that. You can push 300 horsepower in a diesel. In a diesel. So 300 horsepower in a rear-wheel driven diesel hatchback. So I mean, you're going to be pretty fast, and the best thing is it's going to be great on gas too, because it's a diesel. And sound-wise, it's a diesel, so you won't make that great of a sound out of it like a petrol. But yeah, I mean, still pretty great engine. With a tune, it's pretty fast, has some potential in them, so over 300 horsepower is possible if you go wild. But yeah, 125D is my number 6, sorry. Okay, now we're going to talk to number 5, and that's going to be the petrol version of the same car. So yeah, my iPad was doing weird stuff. So yeah, it's the F20 125i, but with the B48 engine. B48 is very, very important. Well, the N20 is still a great engine, but the B48 is so much better because it can handle so much more power. The B48 with just a stage 1 remap pushes 310 horsepower. So if you get a 125i, B48 with the stage 1 remap is going to be as fast as the F20 and 135i. It's only down 10 horsepower, but it weighs a lot less because of the engine is a lot smaller. So a manual, 1M35i will lose against an automatic 1M25i, or pretty even. So again, if the 6-cylinder life is a little bit too heavy for you, you want the 4-cylinder. I don't get you, but still, if you want to, the F20 125i is an option. If you don't like the new 1M35i like I do, because that actually has the same engine with 306 horsepower, but it's only an automatic and it's only X-drive, front wheel based. Not really my stuff. So yeah, looks pretty decent. B48. 310 horsepower with just a stage 1 remap, some little extra work, 350 horsepower is obtainable. So I think it's one of the most, I think this is the most powerful 2-liter F20 that you can get. Unlike, the new 1M35i is the newest, most powerful 4-cylinder, but before that, this is the I think the most powerful one that you could have gotten. Yeah. But just stage 1 remap will almost give you another 100 extra horsepower. They almost tune as well as my car. So this one gains 120 horsepower out of a remap. That one gains about 90 horsepower. So still a lot of gains from just a single one remap. Anyway, the F20 125i is my number 5 on the list because it's just a good car. Okay, number 4. So we're going well with the list. Number 4 is an E87 again, 130i. but not the facelift this time. It's before the facelift because that one has a stronger engine. It's not as good on fuel, but it's I think it's the N52, and it was stronger as a facelifted version, and also it had 7 more horsepower. Not that those 7 horsepower are that important, but 7 more horsepower anyway. And why the E87 130i, you may ask? Well, I think that one explains itself a little bit more than some other cars on this list. It's the most powerful E87 ever made, and it's also the most powerful and the last natural aspirated 3-liter 6-cylinder engine in the 1 Series. So it has 265 horsepower, which is pretty decent. I would get it in the manual, and with some little work like an intake, an exhaust, maybe a downpipe and a retune, you can get about 285, 290 horsepower. So I mean, it's a big engine, and power wise it's not that amazingly high for being such a big engine, but it's natural aspirated, so it sounds amazing. It really sounds epic. I've driven once. No, in the lower RPMs it's really not that special, but once you go 5, 6, 7,000 RPMs, it really lives up and it sounds so great. It's not that good on fuel, but it just sounds so. I think it's one of the better sounding cars on this. One of the better sounding cars on this list, because it's natural aspirated 6-cylinder. Who doesn't like it? So yeah, and it just has a certain charm over it because of that. And yeah, I think the E87 130i is the best E87 ever made, and I actually want one, but they are just price-wise a little bit too high still for me, and they're just not that much faster as this one. They are faster, but not that much, yet they drink double as much fuel as this one. So that's why I'm gonna keep this a 130i. Maybe if the channel ever decides to go big and I just get 3,000 euros from each video I make, then I will certainly get the 130i. But until that time has arrived, the 140i will still stay for a few years. So yeah, number 4, E87 130i. So now we're gonna enter the top 3 list. Hooray! Number 2 and 3 are very similar. So I'm gonna say number 3. You probably know what number 2 is, but number 3 for me is the F20 1M35i, the pre-facelift. So with these tail lights, not the longer tail lights, these tail lights. Why? They are actually not that stupid expensive anymore. 25,000 euros will get you a decent one, and it's one of the last real driven 6-cylinder 1 Series, and with some little work you will push a healthy 400 horsepower out of them. So same car as mine, same looks and stuff like that, but with double the power. What's not to like? I mean, it's pretty simple. It's an amazingly car for a pretty decent price. I mean, 25,000 euros, and you can get cheaper ones, but I'm talking about 25,000 euros. You will get a low mileage one with decent amount of options, and with some little bit of work you are pushing over 400 horsepower, and you will get a pretty nice daily driver, which is just stupidly fast. The automatic and the manual are both very, very great engines. So yeah, that's number 3 on my list, and that's probably going to be this car's successor. Probably. Okay, so if you have seen number 3 and I said it's very similar to number 2, then you will probably know what I'm gonna say, and that's the F20 1M40i. And why is it above the 1M35i? Well, sound wise it isn't, because the N55 sounds a lot better as a B58, but the B58 is a stronger engine, better on fuel, way more tuning potential, and it's also the engine in the new Supra. A little bit different, but if the Supra gets a lot of attention from the B58, So you'll get the B58 from the 140i. And then I can tell you, hey, I have the same engine in my 1 Series as in the new Supra, and everyone will be like, what is this guy smoking? No, anyway, the B58 is a very strong engine in a 140i, and with just stage 1 tune, it's over 400 horsepower, and you can go crazy with the car and push 500-600 horsepower. And I've seen a 140i with turbos, downpipe, intercooler, exhaust, pushing 570 horsepower, and it was just insane. And just the stock car is insanely fast. With a remap, it's stupidly fast. So I cannot imagine 600 horsepower in a car like this, because this car has 225 horsepower and it already moves pretty decently. But that other car, I mean, if you do that number, another 400 horsepower extra, I think it's just gonna be insane. So yeah, number 2 is a 1M40i with the B58. I don't actually have to say B58 because the 1M40i only was available with the B58. Okay, the number 1 list, and you will probably have guessed by now which is my favorite 1 Series of all time. It's the BMW 1M Coupe. Do I have to explain this car? Not really. It's the best 1 Series ever made. I mean, it looks epic, sounds epic, goes epic. Price is really epic. I mean, if you bought one today, you will still have to pay sticker price for it because they just keep their value, and they are so freaking nice. I just fell in love, and not that long ago I actually saw one in real life, and it just flew by full throttle, and I was just like I want this car. It just sounds epic. I know it's the same N55 engine, tuning potential also about 380-400 horsepower, but if I would ever own that car, I wouldn't go full bonkers on it, because I think it's going to be a future classic, and if you ruin one, I think it's a little bit of shame. I want to tune it a little bit, like maybe an exhaust, a downpipe, maybe some coilover kits if I don't like the suspension, but I doubt that, and a tune pushing around 400 horsepower, and just keep it as it is, because that car is just too nice to screw up. I mean, my car, I'm doing all crazy shit with it. I put some wiper. I put some glue on the roof. I stuck a spoiler on it. It's a 140i. Nobody gives a shit. There are 10,000s of 140i. If I screw this one over, I will just get another one and do the same stuff. It's 140i. They are cheap, mass production. But a 1M35i is just a 1M Coupe. I mean, is just so rare. I think only about 6,000 pieces ever made, and yeah, that's my dream car. I would still get a 1M35i because it's as fast for 50% of the price, and it's more practical being a hatchback and stuff like that. But yeah, my favorite 1 Series is the 1M Coupe. So yeah, my tablet is soakingly wet because it started to rain. So I'm gonna round up this video. So anyway guys, I hope you liked the video and my opinion on the 1 Series. You can always leave in the comments what you like and what you don't like about my list, what your list would be. I also have some honorable mentions on this car, and that is the E87 123D. Or did they only make it in a E81? No, I think it's made in a 5-doors. So 123, because it's also very tunable and goes pretty well stock. It's like the successor is a 125D, so that's why I didn't put it in the list. Another honorable mention is the F20 116D, because it's also pretty low horsepower car, and with the tune pushes 190 horsepower. And I've raced an automatic one, and we were pretty close. I was a little bit faster, but it's really not that bad. Yet he has more torque, and is better on fuel, so that's also an honorable mention. So guys, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, you can always leave a like and a subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.